our classes now, we're not looking so much as the perfection of the movement. We're looking at how does that movement derive? What is it that I have to use to get there? So a little bit different way now. You got to change and change with me to get the most out of this session. So you're saying, what am I using? What principle? Shifting of weight, thinking through, counterbalancing, swiveling on my axle, et cetera, okay? So with that strong focus now, I'm going to dig into Yang 16, not for the sequence, but showing how if you understand the principle, you can do any form, okay? All right. Right away at commencing form, like the other forms you already know, we're centered. We first drop our shoulders, and with that, our chest is concave. I'm going to bring this in. Our butt is tucked under. Our tongue is on our palate. We're thinking good thoughts, and we're almost like a marionette where we dropped our shoulders, but our head is dangled by that cable to keep our vertical dantian points all lined up correctly. We're at 50-50. We're going to shift the weight 60-70 to the right, 80, 90, 100 off the ground, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Hands rotate. Take a deep breath in as we elevate both hands. We're going to make ourselves ball, first by dropping our shoulders, tucking our elbows, flexing our knees. Rounded out by the left hand to be by our dantian, right hand on the top to be the top of the ball on a T stance. We're going to part the wild horse's mane. We're going to step out on an L, move the ball, generate the energy through our system from our feet, and split our hands, part the wild horse's mane, where the fingertips of both hands can draw a diagonal. We're in a bow stance. Our bow and arrow, the arrow is not locked and not dipped in, but nice and soft, ready for action. We sit down, we sit back and we sit down. We pivot out. We hold our ball for better balance. We step out on a heel. We part the wild horse's mane, 2. We take a half step. What does a half step mean? From our back foot, we go to our toe and we hold our ball for better balance. Okay, and you're not supposed to know the 16 yet, okay? You're going to shift your weight to the back foot as you spin your ball, rock the right foot to its toe, bring it out, straighten the heel, and you're in a white crane position, okay? All right, so now we're gonna go back to home base, and you're gonna say, we're gonna do it going forward because we don't really know the movements, but we're not looking so much at how the movements should end up, but how we get there, okay? And then this is how my delivery should have started with, okay? So we're going to face the clock so that we can eventually end up facing the wall, okay? Good Tai Chi posture. You're going to shift your weight to the right, 60, 70, 80, 90, off the ground, open, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, hands rotate. Take a deep breath in as we elevate. At shoulder level, we're going to drill down, make ourselves small. We're going to hold our ball on a T stance, shifting your weight, centering with the ball. We're going to take an L stance, move the ball, split the hands, bow stance, part the wild horse's mane. We're going to sit back and sit down, shifting our weight. We're going to take a L stance or And we're going to part the wild horse's mane to bow stance. We're in good optimal position. We're going to take a half step with the back foot or left foot, and we're going to center with a ball. That's a half step because our foot is not fully weighted. We're going to spin the ball to the right, sit back on that back foot, lift the front foot to its toe, lift it off the ground, point it out, and we're going to be a white crane spreading his wings. Okay, now we're in a optimal position. We've got counterbalancing. The left hand, the baby finger slices through the right shoulder blade. The right hand sits not to the side of our thigh, but out as if we were parting the wild horse's mane. We're going to drop the front foot, weight still heavily on the back. We're going to tuck the right elbow in. We're going to draw it down as if we're going to bisect our body to our danten. We're going to swirl back and look back, and we're going to set it up correctly. Does this remind you of something? Lift up the front foot, place it on its heel, set it up correctly, multitask to brush your knee. Sit back, sit down, shifting weight. Making your right foot substantial, setting it up, multitasking, and magic. 2 brush knee. The third one is a new movement, but it's as if you are brushing your knee. You sit back, sit down, you pivot out, shift weight, you do a counter. The left hand comes up, goes down, fist the right hand to come up, spin out to deflect. Bring it in, shift your weight and parry. On a bow stance, you're going to punch. You're going to strip the opponent off of you, and you're going to roll back. And then you're going to spiral forward. Okay, one more time. So yes, you're gaining sequencing. You're gaining shifting of weight to make yourself advance, but hopefully in a safe way. So the clearer you are about the principles, the safer you can be for anything. But if you're here just to gain a new form, then perhaps you may want to rethink that. It's only temporary, okay? And probably only good when you do the actual Tai Chi Yang 16, okay? All right, so we're gonna move back, we're gonna come forward, we're gonna go from the clock, and we're in good Tai Chi posture, and we're closing a little bit, okay? Making that spine really straight. We're at 50-50. We're gonna shift our weight to the right, 60, 70, 80, 90, off the ground, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, hands rotate. Take a deep breath in as we elevate both hands. Shoulder level, drop the shoulders, flex the knees, let gravity take care of you. Left hand on the bottom, 2 inches below your navel, on a T stance, hold your ball nicely. Root it down on the right where your energy is. We're going to move that energy by stepping out on an L stance. Turn the hips and waist, move the energy, split the energy. Bow stance, part the wild horse's mane, 1. Sit back, sit down to alleviate the weight of the front foot so that you can move it out. Ball for better balance, heel out, move the energy from an L stance to a bow stance. You're in a great optimal position. You're going to take a half step, and half step requires balance, so you're going to have to center yourself with the ball. You're going to shift your weight from the front foot to the back foot. Do it now. At the same time, you're going to spin the ball. What the bottom does, the top does. You're on the toe of the front, lift it off the ground, set it on its toe, and you're set for white crane spreading his wings, where the right hand is sitting to the way out to the hips, the top left hand, the baby finger bisects the edge of your opposite shoulder, your right shoulder. You're going to drop your front foot to provide more weight on the back. You're going to bring the top hand in so that it's almost like a 12 o'clock, where the elbow is straight down. Then you're going to bisect, drop it down to the danten. Lift up the front foot, look at the back, and set it up, and lift off to the ground to your heel as you turn your hips and waist to brush your knee. Sit back, sit down, pivot out, as if you're walking in that direction, set it up correctly, multitask to provide your magic. Brush knee 2. Sit back, sit down, as if you're going to do another brush knee, but you're going to fist your right hand. Then you're going to fist that comes up, the other one comes down, yin and yang. Spin out with your heel to deflect, bring it into parry, step out on a bow or L stance to punch. You're going to strip the guy away, open that fist, roll back and sit down, turn the palms out to spiral forward. Okay? From here now, I'm going to take you along a little bit more, but I want you to listen carefully so you can do what I want you to do. You're in a bow stance. Forget about your hands for now, okay? You're in a bow stance. I want you to turn towards the field and give me the same bow stance. Okay? Do it now. Left foot forward, right foot 45, and you were pushing out. All right? What we're going to do is something very different. We're going to slightly sit back, but pivot our back or right foot, then pivot our front foot, shift our weight, make a hook, and tee, and come out as a single whip. Wow. Okay, so go back to your regular position. So we said that our premise is, how do we get to movements? Or we can get to movements in a better way if we employ or implement our principles. So we were here, and we want to pivot our back foot. We're in a good optimal position, safe right now. We want to alleviate some weight of our back foot so we can pivot, shift our weight, and come up and come out and do a single whip. Okay.